What's up, Shelf Addicts? Welcome back. Today on Book Chat, we are talking about the July Buddy Read title, The Last Thing He Told Me, written by Laura Dave. Stay tuned. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Amazon Music. Check it out. It has 70 million songs, thousands of playlists. You can listen without commercials. Sign up today and get your first month for free using the Shelf Addiction link. Go to getamazonmusic.com/shelf addiction and sign up today. Again, the code is Shelf Addiction. The link is also in the show notes. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and thank you for downloading this month's Buddy Read discussion featured here on the Shelf Addiction podcast. If you're new here, every week we get bookish with book discussions, book reviews, shelf bites, and more. If you're wondering what is a Buddy Read, this is a feature where Classy and I select a thriller or mystery title that we both are interested in. Then we have a candid conversation about that book or audiobook. We even discuss it in our Facebook group, Shelf Addiction Official, during a live chat. So grab a glass of wine, a cocktail, a cup of tea or coffee, whatever your drink of choice is, and settle in for this fun discussion. As always with book chats, there is a spoiler alert in effect, so you've been warned. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with your book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That will really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing it. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including this podcast after show. If you'd like to support the show in other ways, please consider doing that by supporting our sponsors. By supporting them, you are supporting us. Check out all of the sponsors at shelfaddiction.com/sponsors. If you've read the book or listened to the audiobook and would like to weigh in on this conversation, be sure to join the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. I hope to hear your thoughts on this discussion. Links for everything I've mentioned are in the show notes, so let's get going. We are going to jump right to it. Joining me is the Buddy Read feature co-host, Classy Green from the Bookish Virtual Assistant. Welcome back, Classy.
Hi, Tamara. Thank you for that warm welcome.
Of course, we are glad you are back. Woo! Yes! We are doing the thing. Yes, back together again.
I missed it.
So we're just going to get into it because we probably have a lot to cover. So before we start the discussion, if you're interested in today's after show, it's available right now on Patreon for you to watch. We're going to talk about whatever strikes us. So you might want to check it out if you're curious. All right. So today we are discussing the book, The Last Thing He Ever Told Me by Laura Dave. The audiobook was narrated by Rebecca Lohman. Published May 4th, 2021 by Simon & Schuster and Simon & Schuster Audio. The hardcover comes in at 320 pages and the unabridged audio is 8 hours and 49 minutes. Classy, would you kindly share the synopsis?
Yes. Before Owen Michaels disappears, he smuggles a note to his beloved wife of 1 year. Protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child. Bailey, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her new stepmother. As Hannah's increasingly desperate calls to Owen go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal and federal agents arrive at her Sausalito home unannounced, Hannah quickly realizes her husband isn't who he said he was, and that Bailey just may hold the key to figuring out Owen's true identity and why he really disappeared. Hannah and Bailey set out to discover the truth, but as they start putting together the pieces of Owen's past, they soon realize they're also building a new future, one neither of them could have anticipated. With its breakneck pacing, dizzying plot twist, and evocative family drama, The Last Thing He Told Me is a riveting mystery certain to shock you with its final heartbreaking turn.
Yeah. Okay, so what was that?
I'm really excited about that.
What was that phrase? Wait, what did it say about the plot twist? What did it say? With its riveting plot twist?
It's with its breakneck pacing, dizzying plot twist, and evocative I know.
Lies.
When I read that again, I'm just like, I call bullshit.
The lies you told.
It should have been the lies you told with that synopsis.
Yes. Exactly. Because it was...
Yeah.
Okay, so this was my first time reading this author, or I listened to audiobook, but this is my first time with this author. What about you, Classy?
First time. I've never read any of her books before, or I'm not even sure. Is this her first book?
I'm not sure. Let me look right quick. I'm not sure.
I'm assuming it's not, because they would have said debut. And let's see, Laura. No, she's written some other ones, and I have not heard of any of these. 800 Grapes. Nothing.
She got the same font on several of these books.
Oh yeah, the covers, right? 800 Grapes looks. Yeah, the first husband. The divorce party, yeah, you're right. The only one, Hello Sunshine, was a little different. But other than that, yeah.
Okay, so it looks like the last thing he told me has the highest amount of ratings by far. So it's the newest book and it's the most read book. So I don't know what happened with this one that it just caught on. Because like this one has like almost 457,000 ratings. And the one behind that only has about 35,000 ratings. So that's a huge jump from 35,000 to 457,000. That's huge.
Well, it's a Reese Witherspoon book club selection.
See? Get on the list.
Yes. And it was a 2021 Goodreads Choice winner.
Was it? In what category? Mystery?
Let's see. Does it say? Will it let me go there? Yeah, I clicked on the little icon. Let's see. Mystery thriller.
That is not a thriller. I guess mystery. I guess it could be mystery. But it kind of was like suspense a little bit. But not really. Okay, so how we usually do. When you first finished this book, high level, what did you think of it?
It was not at all what I expected. It was low on mystery, suspense, and thriller, but high on character development and the relationship stuff. But I was like, this is a mystery? Where? There was some hanging chads, like, I mean, granted the financial disaster thing, but I was missing there were some things that I really had questions about that they did not answer.
Really?
Because it could have been like two mysteries if it really was a mystery.
Okay, so I want to know exactly what you thought you needed answers on. So but first, let me just say how I felt at the end of it. Okay. I thought, oh, that was cute at the end. I'm like, when we got the little prologue, and it was unclear. 5, 8, or 10 years it could have been. I guess she's just saying it's really not important how long it is, but hey, we have a great relationship now, and life is good, and oh, I got a glimpse of my ex. I'm like, oh, that's nice. So that's what I thought, but during the course of the book, it was a quick read for me. I did it in 2 days, but it was bland. It was kind of bland. Like, I knew everything that was happening. I felt like nothing was surprising. It was just hearing the story unfold, but none of it surprised me. None of it was shocking.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. That it wasn't a bad story, but it wasn't anything that was like shock-worthy or mystery, thriller, suspense-worthy. It was not suspenseful. I mean, at first it kind of had that suspense element with him leaving and the note and the bag of money. That was that suspenseful part, but then it got to be, the story kind of got away from that mystery suspense, and it started more into this relationship, family drama between the stepmother and the daughter. And
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It was a family drama.
It was very anticlimactic at the end.
Yes, and I do think the author was trying to make it seem like it was high stakes because of the mob connection, but it wasn't at all. Like,
it fell.
Yeah.
It fell really. It fell. It didn't. It missed the mark. It really missed the mark, and that was one of the things that, when you said that with the mob, one of the questions that I wanted answered, because they kept saying Owen isn't as innocent as you think he is. Owen isn't who you think he is. And I'm like, who the fuck is he?
What did he do? Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Like we know he's not, well, what was it? Ethan. Well, we know Owen is Ethan. We know that. We know he was married to, but what else? You guys keep saying he's not as nice as you think he is, and he's this, and that, but they never answer that. They kept leaving us hanging, with that. And like, where did the money come from? And I know they, he set him up and everything, but that was one of the things. And then they also made it almost seem like whatever he did had something to do with his ex-wife's or his widow, his dead wife's mother. Like, and my wife is dead. And, they kept like implying that something he may have done. I don't know if the mother just grieved that they took the granddaughter away and she just died of a broken heart. I don't know. But it was constantly mentioned.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that I wrote down. Like, okay, so how did Grandmama Meredith or whatever, did she die? Did Owen contributed to it?
Right.
What did he do?
Well, I don't even know if it was that. Like when the father-in-law or Bailey's grandfather kind of said, I can tell you one thing that would change your opinion of him. And I just instantly thought, well, he must have done something highly illegal, like on his own, of his own free will. That's what I thought of. Not necessarily that it tied into his mother-in-law, but that he just did something.
No. Yeah, and I know he did something, but I was just, they kept just saying that, my mother died, or, and it was, or maybe it was just the writing. Like, why would you throw that out there and constantly mention it, but don't give me the backstory of why she died? Mm-hmm. Because to me, when you leave that hanging like that, I kind of try to, put those two things together in my head. Like, okay, so he keeps talking about his dead wife and Owen not being who he said he was. But yeah, I did think that he did something more illegal than providing him with the app or some kind of coding for the mob. I believe he probably did something behind Owen's back.
Right.
I mean, Nate's back.
Right.
His father-in-law. So, but to say that and leave the reader hanging and just end the story with, like you said, 5 to 8 years, which when we do the math, it was really 5. Come on, people. You said she was 21.
I know. So
dating in her 20s.
What's the point of doing that if you're going to say how old she is?
I was like, I could do the math. She was 16 when you guys, didn't go into witness protection and decided to just live your life as Bailey and Hannah.
Yeah.
She was 16. And now in today's storyline, she's 21. You said she was 21.
Yeah. She's in college and she's dating in her 20s, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Yep. So I'm just like, all right. So, yeah. But no, that was my high level. Like, I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't.
It wasn't what I thought it would be. And to be honest, when the book was first chosen, when I did like a quick sweep of the synopsis, I honestly did not remember anything about this book when I started. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to start. So I didn't really know what I was going into. I had forgotten the synopsis completely. And I just found Hannah so lame. Like, she was so dull. And I just, okay, how could I say this?
I'm sorry.
How could I say this?
She was just so lame.
She was. Okay. So first off, I kind of understand, in a way, having a stepdaughter that doesn't like you. I kind of understand that. But I don't have the point of view of having to raise that stepdaughter that also hates your guts. Right. But she was so like a martyr, I felt like. Let me just fall on my sword. He told me to save the child, so I will save the child at all expense, no matter what, despite the fact that the girl hates my ass, okay? I will do it all.
Despite she's a smart ass and she talks back.
Right. And it's like she never even once had any come to Jesus talks with her. It was always from a place of softness. Even when the girl basically runs away, she tells her, stay in the hotel room. And she leaves to take a phone call and just keeps walking. That's how she explains it. I'm like, girl, do you know what kind of trouble we're in here? And your ass is walking around. She would have got it. She would have got it talking to.
Oh, she got to talk. Yeah. And that was right. And as a stepmom, she wanted to be liked more than being a mother of, or no discipline. It was more, I want her to like me. I felt like that,
and, But I think she was okay in that zone.
You hand me a joint.
I know, right? And she gives it back to her. And she's like, wait, give it back. I'm like, wait a minute. I think she was okay in the like zone, wanting to be like zone as a friend. If, and only if, the husband is around. When Owen left, that switch flips. We're no longer buddies. I'm not kissing your butt. No. We're in a different situation.
Yeah, somebody's got to take the wheel. And somebody's got to be the adult in this situation. Right. And I mean, she tried in a few little moments. There was some glimmer of hope, but then she went back to,
whatever you want to do.
She's lost her father, and she, and this, and I have to protect her. And I'm going to tell you, as a mother, there are moments where you have like that, but you have to protect them. But there are those times where you have to lay down the law. Like, look, this is what we're going to do. I said this, and that because I'm the boss.
Exactly.
I'm the adult here.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and she didn't have those moments. But, again, that's how I raised mine. And everybody has different parenting skills. And
that is the truth. But I just had a hard time, digesting that. I'm like, okay, that's why I was just reading along, right? Like, I had zero investment. I just knew it would all just work out because this is just how these people are.
Yep. It almost gave you like that romance kind of feeling. Because, in romance, there's always going to be a happy ending. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt that's how
yes.
That's that feeling I got. This is going to have a happy ending.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only thing that surprised me was that, but it still was a happy ending anyway. So what surprised me was that, the grandfather, Owen, says, I'm sorry, not Owen. What's the grandfather's name? Nate. Thank you. I did not write down his name. Nate says, you know what? I can protect you. I can protect, my granddaughter, but no. Not him. I don't care about him. Nope. I wouldn't protect him if I could. He can never come back. And she's all agreeable. And in the back of her mind, she's thinking, yeah, right. I'll see him again. We'll be together eventually. I know that's what she's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That regardless, she's like, but he told me to protect her, and that's what I'm going to do is protect her. But in her mind, she's just like, he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Just give it, just a couple years or something. And then lo and behold, Owen, we find out that Owen did contact Bailey and said, he won't see them for a long time. But yeah, it was, the the plot and the suspense got really thin in a lot of spots. It was not a mystery. It was I'm trying to think, like, I want to like justify that, okay, somebody labeled this as a mystery thriller, and I'm trying to figure out in my head where can I say or can I agree with that tag.
I think there is no thriller, period. I think that it's not hard enough to be a thriller at all.
No, it was so soft.
But I guess the mystery is Hannah trying to figure out why Owen ran away, right? Who is Owen and why did he run away? Because the minute she found out that Owen wasn't his real name, but she didn't know what his name was.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was like, right. Once we found out who he was and who the ex-wife was, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And and that was like 75% in the book, because that's when I looked and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, so y'all, it's over, right?
Now what?
Oh, we done?
Now what?
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, we done, right? We figured out who he is, what happened, but no, there's still like 25% more left of this damn book.
I know. And that 25% was just really, Hannah off trying to make a deal on her own. Which was ridiculous.
That was a fucked up deal. It was so ridiculous. Because I'm like, what are you doing?
It felt like a Lifetime movie at the end. Like, you can just imagine her rolling up to this big, large house, and it's 2 dogs and his bodyguards and a moat. And she's standing there trying to, like, plead her case, and he looking like a mean old man. I mean, it's just so quintessential. I mean, I feel like it would be straight out of Lifetime, all the way up into the prologue where they're skipping around in the art gallery. And she calls her mom, and she's like, yay!
I know, Mom. I was just like, really?
I know.
Really?
I know.
Yeah, it got real dry after we figured out who Owen was. And I mean, there were dry moments before that, but as a mystery reader, you always want to you're hanging in there to figure out, okay, so who is he?
Right.
Why? What? When? And then once we figure that out, I'm like, okay, so what else do you have to tell me now? What else are you going to tell me? Because that's what I was waiting for, like that shoe to drop, the like, come on, you guys. This one, hit me with your best shot. Come on.
I know.
Something's gonna happen at the end, and I'm just gonna be like, yes.
No.
You get another star back.
Very predictable. Okay, I think this is a good time for a break. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I have one thing I want to gripe about. I'm sure we can find some other things to complain about. And we'll finish the conversation. But in the meantime, do listen to the commercials. By listening to those, you are supporting the show. And don't forget to check out the book review journal and the book review notebook, available now on Amazon. We'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. Welcome back, guys. So we're going to jump right back in it. So the thing that I was annoyed about, and I know the author was really trying to make it seem like Owen/Ethan was all about his daughter and only his daughter. But all the stuff that she went through looking back through her flashbacks, Hannah, I would have wanted one conversation between them. Just one. It didn't have to be a long conversation, just enough for her to cuss his ass out or express how hurt she was that he didn't tell her the truth or anything, because she just gave him a pass the whole time through. It didn't seem like she was mad even a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what woman does that? Is that reality for who?
No. I'm sorry. You left us with no clues, no nothing except for protect her. And the thing was, she's like, and I know my husband.
Do you? Do you though?
And if I don't know anything else, I know Owen, and his whole goal was to protect his daughter. Yeah, I really got fed up with that after a while. I'm just like, whatever. A cop out. I mean, you could have told me more. I mean, if you can leave me a note that says protect her, you could have left me a note that told me more than that. Because the note was just to me.
It was dumb.
Honey, I am so and so and so. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to run. I can't explain. I'll find you. Just keep. Why didn't he leave the money with her? You want her to watch your kid.
Right.
Why did he not leave a shit ton of cash with his wife?
With a teenager.
He puts it in a teenager's locker at school. And then how it all went down, it made it seem like the money just disappeared because they chose not to go into the protective, the program.
Witness protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, they had she and the, what do they call that guy?
U.S. Marshal.
The U.S. Marshal.
Grady. Yeah. Grady, the U.S. Marshal. Mm-hmm.
She says, so if we go into the program, he's like, yeah, you'll have this great amount of money. Nobody ever goes in with this much money. You'll be set up great. And if I don't go in the program, I don't get the money. She went and told him where to find the money.
I know. That. I lost it.
I would have told my best friend who I've been having her run errands for me and look stuff up.
Yes.
I would have, girlfriend, I need you to go get this bag. Don't look in it.
Put it somewhere.
Hide it.
Yeah. Yep.
Why would I tell this guy I don't even know when I'm already having my friend do crazy things like break into a piggy bank that's also, a sealed safe? She's doing that. Why can't she get the money? Why would you tell this man so he could just take your money? Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why did you tell him?
And he could have taken the money and still wouldn't have been, they could have acted like this money never existed. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling that much money, $600,000. I'm not telling anybody. Like you said, my best friend, that's about it.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
No.
Just in case we need, because that's left, like in case we do need to leave, I have money.
Yeah.
So I didn't get her end game on that one. Why would you tell him that? So yeah, it
didn't make sense.
A few things that really I didn't get. And then, the trip to Austin and like you said, the flashbacks and even that one moment, the little conversations. I was hoping in the conversations that she did have with him, there was a few little, nuggets that he revealed, like she figured out he was from Texas and, he was a prom king or whatever, they ran into a person, but I would have liked, like you said, in the end, some kind of conversation. Mm-hmm. Some type of conversation. Even you just glancing by me, coming in my shop to look, we could have went in the corner.
Exactly.
Or something. Just some little, yeah.
And then she act like she wasn't sure if it was him, even though she saw her wedding ring that she made. But she still questioned herself. And then she had the nerve to act like it was him after he said, what did he say? Basically, the ex-misters still love you or whatever. So he puts himself in the X category. Mm-hmm. The exes still love you. I'm like, get out of here. This is so stupid.
It was lame. Like you said, it was pretty lame. I was like, So he just shows up every once in a while.
Don't come around.
I was almost hoping that she kind of knew something or he had told her something and we just didn't know it. That's what I was hoping, like, some kind of twist like that. Mm-hmm. Like, she knew where he was, but she was playing hardball with, the U.S. Marshal. Like, nope, I don't know where he's at. And she was the mastermind. That's what I was hoping.
That would have been a great story.
But it got really cheesy. Yeah, but it got cheesy.
Actually, I think the story would have been more entertaining for me if she had known what was going on. And it was this whole thing about trying to hide from the mob. But that's like a completely different story. But that might have been more entertaining to me. Like the U.S. Marshal trying to convince them to come in for protection. And she like, no, I can hide on my own. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
But just waiting on him, waiting on Owen, waiting.
Yeah. And trying to figure out who he was and not knowing if he's coming back. So it was kind of like, so are you trying to figure out where he's at or who he is?
Both. I mean,
what's more important?
I guess she was trying to figure out who he is because she really wasn't trying to figure out where he was at.
True.
She went.
So my thing is okay. So she just knew he probably was gone. Mm-hmm. He wasn't coming back. So now I need to figure out who he is and what I'm protecting. Who am I protecting Hannah from?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I mean, at the bare bones, now you know he could have said that, like, "Hey, I lied to you about a lot of things. You're about to find out some things, and no matter what, keep her from these names."
Right.
He could have wrote that.
Right. Because how do you protect her? Who am I protecting her from? So now all of a sudden, I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop or all these people to just come out of hiding. Because my thing is, okay, protect her. Cool.
Right.
Let's chill. But now she doesn't even know who. So now she has to figure. Well, the marshal comes in and he throws kind of hints. So then, yeah. But it was just too much. As a reader for mystery, and I wonder, like her 800 Grapes book, is this her first mystery?
I don't know.
I wonder if the other books were mystery or not. But I mean, for people who are looking for a soft mystery where there's not a lot of, like there wasn't a murder. Well, his ex-wife was murdered, but the main plot, there was no murder. There was no big crime committed.
There was no violence. There was no murder.
No.
There was no... I mean, heck, the police didn't even arrest anybody. We didn't even get a raid.
No.
Nothing happened.
No.
To anyone.
Nope. Oh. So if you're looking for something really nice and soft...
Yeah.
This is your book.
Because what world... Well, I guess maybe there is a group of people that could happen to if something bad. They just, I mean, they had money. They were affluent, right? They looked a certain way and whatever. It's all good.
I mean, it was, well, I won't say cozy mystery, but it was kind of getting there to be cozy.
Yeah, but even a cozy mystery actually has a mystery, right? You're trying to solve.
Yeah, it does.
Who killed Margaret in the kitchen with the hammer? I mean, I don't know, right?
True, and there wasn't, right. Yeah, right. And it's a amateur detective, yeah. But there's no, you don't see, you just know, like, you stumble upon a body. But there was nothing.
There was no body.
And I mean, granted, all mysteries, you don't have to have a body. Please know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very... I think it was kind of soft on mystery. More family drama. I'm not sure.
If you read, okay, so you guys listening, if you read this book and you were surprised by anything that occurred in this book, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what it was and why it surprised you. Because for the life of me, none of this was shocking. None of it. Like I said earlier, I felt like I was reading like the things that happen in order of, just step by step. But nothing was like, oh no, or oh my gosh, I didn't see that, or oh, plot twist. There weren't any plot twists.
You didn't have that dizzying.
No.
Let me read this description again. Hold on. Hold on. The dizzying plot twist. You didn't have that?
None of it.
You didn't feel that? Or the the breakneck pacing. Come on.
No, it wasn't that fast.
That's what the synopsis.
Just because the synopsis said, look, they spin doctored that synopsis, okay?
Man, you want to talk about spin? They put that chef's kiss on that.
Yeah,
baby.
they said this is the best thing ever, and it's not. Yeah, that's what they did.
And then Reese picked it too.
You know, again,
she got lucky.
I feel like we have said before, I don't really trust these book club, like Oprah book club. We don't really get along. I don't really like the books she picked.
No.
Reese Witherspoon book club.
And I didn't see Reese until later. I think somebody recommended this book, and when we were picking, I was like, okay, this was recommended to me. So,
because if I had known that, I would have probably said no. Because I feel like I don't believe these people when they say they've read this book and they loved it so much. I don't believe it half the time. I feel like their pockets are lined. They doing somebody a favor. Whatever reason they choose to read these books, it's not because it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure one or two might be. You know, you might fall in love with it after the deal is done and you have to read it. But you're not going through like an editor finding books for your book club. You're not doing that. You're not doing that.
No. Nope.
You best believe she got a team of people in charge of her book club. They go through the books, they make the deals, and then they say, hey, Reese, this the book, read it. And she may read it or she may skim it.
Right. And she puts her celebrity name on it, and everybody's like, oh, if Reese is reading it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I didn't see, like, when I picked this book, because, you know, I did not see her name until I just read the synopsis, and it said it's a Reese Witherspoon book club selection. Yeah, but no. Yeah. But You know what, though? Picking books is, you know, it's all a crapshoot. You just never know. You just hope and pray you run across a really great book. But in the end, it's always fun to find characters, you know, like none of these characters to me were relatable.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay.
My life, no. I could not relate at all. As a mother, that girl and her tongue, stepmother or not, there would have been a come to Jesus moment. Because you got one more time to get smart, little girl.
I mean, even the father, even Owen did not check her.
I understand your father is missing. Yeah, I understand your father is missing.
But
I get that. But what we not going to do over here is get smart.
On the plane, that one scene when they were coming to Texas or whatever, and the flight attendant said, oh, I know how girls, teens are, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, I do not belong to her. I'd be like, bitch. Okay, then that's how we roll it. You know that comment? She was like, she was quick to disassociate herself from her so fast.
Girl, I would have rethought protect her. Oh, where his ass at? What he gonna do? What if I don't protect her? Right, there were certain moments to be like, and what if I don't protect her?
Then what?
What you gonna do? Come get me.
Look, I would have been like, maybe your grandfather can protect you. Bye.
Right.
Stay with him and your Uncle Charlie. They miss you.
Yes, girl. One more time. Right. Soon as Jules told me who he wanted, yes. If I couldn't take care of her.
Yes.
We shipping her ass to Uncle Charlie.
Yes. He'll take care of her.
He was listening to Will. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't. Me and her, somebody's not going to survive this relationship. So Uncle Charlie, I think you need, go ahead.
Yeah, step up,
take
Uncle Charlie.
Yeah. So I could not relate to, like you were saying, she was, and everybody's different. And that's how we find out. In reading books, we learn about different characters and how people are and raising children and how they relate to stress. But she was not relatable at all to me.
Mm-mm. No. And what about randomly her calling her ex to help her? No one else that's Well, I guess people just don't know fleets of attorneys unless you're in that world.
Yeah. And somebody that she trusted, because I did get that, though. Calling her ex, she trusted him. Yes, she was like, he was basically a piece of crap, but she did trust him. She knew he was competent as a lawyer.
Yes, but he is also idiot in life because he told the marshal where she was. He calls the marshal.
Well, he tried to find her, but and she said she was going dark. She did say that, so yeah.
But he calls the marshal and it's like, oh, she was here, but I haven't heard from her. You gonna tell him where she went? What kind of attorney are you?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I forgot about that. You supposed to keep that close to the vest, partner.
Yeah, and then he's like, come live here with me, you and the girl. It's fine, no pressure. I'm like, wow, he couldn't wait to try to jump back in. Like, it's double dutch. He like, when can I jump back in?
Just waiting. Yeah. Well, as soon as she called, are you divorced or is it your husband? So yeah, he was just waiting on that opportunity to pounce. But yeah, but no, none of the characters were relatable at all. I'm even trying to, like you were saying, everything was predictable. Nothing was surprising to me. When you were making that statement, I was trying to think in my head, like, were there any moments that surprised me?
Nada. I don't know.
I almost was like, when I got done, I was like, nope, not chick lit, not women's fiction, not.
I know I have to go in and change my tags, because I had originally checked it as thriller and mystery just off GP because I thought that's what they were. But I'm unchecking thriller for sure.
I'm glad you said that because I am too.
Yeah, because it is not thriller. No. I might leave mystery because I don't have family drama as a tag for myself.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I didn't have thriller listed. Yeah. Yep. But no. And it was a soft mystery.
Yes.
But okay. Soft mystery is in a genre. So yeah.
And I felt bad also at the end of the book because I'm like, man, this is the book Classy come back on. Like, we coming off some pretty good reads. I don't care. And I'm like, oh.
I don't care.
Okay.
Look, reading is a crap. You just never know what you're going to get. So I didn't care. No. But I was just like, okay. All right. It happens.
Yes.
Yes, the last two books were, they were, pretty, well, yeah.
They weren't perfect by any means, but I feel like they had a lot more validity than this book.
Yeah. Yeah. There was more conversation to be had in the two previous books. This one, I'm like trying my best to keep this conversation.
Oh Lord. Okay, look, let's put you out your misery. Let's rate it. Let's go on ahead and do it.
Look. Oh, come on, hold on. No, I can tell you you struggling over there too.
I have to look at. Well, you know what? We've hit the minimum time, so we can rate it.
Now we're trying to put this all on me. I see you over there.
You're like, how drunk is she gonna have to get before she calls it?
Timestamp.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh. All right, let's
see. This is us. This is us right here. Like, come on now, Tamara. I can see you over there struggling. We tried. Let's put this baby to rest.
I know. Okay, let's go ahead and rate it. You do the honors. You can start. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Gosh, I really want to give it a 2, but I'll give it a 3. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. Great character development, world building, whatever. Like I said, really low on mystery, so I gave it a 3.
Okay. I concur. It's a weak 3 since we don't do halves.
Yeah.
It's definitely not something I would recommend to anyone personally.
Yeah.
Because this is just not the caliber of things that I recommend to people.
No.
And I dare I say, if you listen to this podcast, you probably wouldn't like it. Because if you like what we like, you probably wouldn't like it. Yeah. But if this is your first time here and you're like, I don't know if I like what they like, you might if you like softer stuff.
This might be this might be a good starter.
Yeah, it's a good start. It's an entry level mystery.
Mystery. Yes.
Think more Lifetime and WeTV. Or Lifetime Movie Network or something like that. Think more like that instead of like true crime TV. Or HBO. It's nothing like that. It's way mild.
Right, or a good Netflix. Yeah.
Yep,
or a good Netflix. Yeah. No.
It was pretty clean. No murder. Like, we heard of a murder, but we never saw it. And it was like mentioned in passing a couple times. No murder, no sex, no violence, no nothing. So.
No. Which is not bad. I mean, not to say it can't be done, but it was just missing some elements for us for it to be a really good mystery.
Well, challenge me,
story.
Somebody. If you think that a good thriller can be done without any of those things I just mentioned, let me know what it is.
Oh, hell no.
Let me know what it is.
No, I was just going on the mystery
Okay, well,
side,
even a mystery. I feel like I need something. Yeah. I need something. Give me one out of the things. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And the reason why we say this, because this book was the winner and Goodreads choice winner of mystery thriller genre. So yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
So, right.
3.
3's all around. So we're going to talk about the narrator right quick. I didn't have any feelings about the narrator. None. I was indifferent.
See?
They were fine.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Likewise. I think I thought she did bratty teenager really well.
Okay. Noted. And I did listen on speed of 2.0.
Dang. I could have done faster because even at 1.5, she was slow.
Yes, I cut this mug down to size. I'm like, I tried faster. And I'm like, oh, I probably could have pushed it a little more, but I didn't want to. So I left it at 2.0.
Wow.
And that was okay. I cut that audiobook time in half.
Wow.
And it was great. It was great. I will do it on more audiobooks, to be honest. I will push the 2.0 as much as I can. I don't know how far I can push past that, but I know I can comfortably do 2.0. I feel like on most audiobooks, unless the narrator has a faster cadence, which only a couple of them do.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1.5 was too slow.
Yeah, it was. I did 1.5 and I had to look and I'm like, this is 1.5? I thought it was at 1. And I probably should have bumped it up, but I had just got into a rhythm and was just like, because it was like background noise to me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so next up, we are reading We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker. Okay, let me just say, y'all, I am guilty of judging books by the cover art. I've done it more than on one occasion. And I'm feeling kind of judgy about this. I'm trying not to be, but it looks kind of bland. I'm like, what is this? I don't remember what the synopsis is, to be fair. But just strictly looking at the cover, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, it gives us nothing. There's no foreshadowing. No. There's nothing that grabs you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I don't know. We will see. I'm going to get excited for it because it's something new. Another newbie to me. I've not read him before. So, we'll see how this goes.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes. You guys join us for it. You read along in the month of August and come back and listen to what we had to say. And let's see if we agree. That would be a fun thing. Or join us for book club. Either or.
Yeah, either one.
All right. I think we're done. What do you think, Classy?
Yes. We're done talking about this one.
Thanks for listening to this whole episode. If you are still listening to the sound of my voice, I appreciate you for sticking it out through the whole 50 minutes of this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope to see you again. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe or like the episode before you leave. And we will catch you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. Happy reading. Bye, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction Official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction Podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.